Listen, look. I have been kind of been drifting away here and there with the miraculous reviews, but I still want to make a at least a review of one of the latest episodes, and this happens to be the hardest one because talking about this episode is going to be tricky. Because I honestly, I did watch Optigami. It's just that when I do try to talk about it, there's going to be some aspects that is missing. So this is not a complete review or any source. This is not, a complete analysis or whatever you may call it. And I'm gonna there's 100% I'm gonna screw it up. But if I don't, then hey, that's the review. I'm just doing this kind of like off the cuffs. Some of it might be off scripted here and there, but let's just find out because other than that, I'm gonna try and hopefully I don't fail. I mean, life. I look honestly, life be life because I'm just going through a lot. But so that's why I haven't been really in a mood to actually ever really do a review for Optigami. But I have to do it at some point. I gotta get stuff done at some point. But it's just that whatever is going in my life is just that there's so many things that hasn't been completed that are just like left in like the back burner. Like I don't know if, but this ain't about me. This is about Ladybug Miraculous, episode 13, Optigami. So this one is a tricky one because this happens to be a lot of aspects within the show that I'm just surprised. Okay, there's gonna be some points where I'm just gonna get to the point. I'm not gonna waste any time actually trying to know where I'm at because this list of reviews, look, it's long enough. It's long enough as it is of make it look. I have lists on lists of notes that are just like a novel to the point where I can't even really put them all in the video because we would be here for like 3 hours or something. But I'm gonna try to do this at least the quickest possible. But I don't know. Usually whenever I review Ladybug Miraculous, it's like calculus. I just can't really, do it like under 10 minutes or something because it's just there's a lot to talk about. And due to my passion for the show is seeing the predictions and where it leads to. So that's why I'm making it this way. But yeah, let's just talk about it. Let's get this done. And look, usually I would put this during the like during the weekend, but I don't have nothing going on. I'm on summer break, so I'm just gonna put it wherever I wanted to put it, basically. So yeah, a flashback of the finale season 3 because as Natalie and Gabriel were in the bed together, what? They were pretty much there was this scene of a flashback of when Chloe tried to take over, and basically it was a reference of the final of last season, and it's pretty much this episode itself. If there's one reference surrounding this episode, I mean, there's a lot, but it's Natalie's device. It's this device thing. It's like a butterfly, moth, and with robotic eyes. It's like a technological kind of futuristic moth in a way, as I call it. And you pretty much it's like a voyeur cam, and she's using this, and the power she puts in is like she sees through her iPad, and it makes like a spy cam, and it just goes around the city. And pretty much this was a point where I was trying to understand the knowledge behind this, or at least the logic, that knowing that Natalie has found out that Ladybug has been passing miraculouses or comments to other, like, her classmates. How come, like, out of all the times that Ladybug has been transforming in areas that are not even secret, maybe it has to do with Marinette being professional at this point. But I'm just surprised that not once Natalie caught her when this device was going on. Because this device that Natalie has been implemented ever since a couple of seasons ago when we were introduced of many heroes, especially when like a long time ago when Chloe was Queen Bee, and way back then, and then other heroes like Monkey King, Kim as Monkey King, and also Max as Pegasus, and as the hero list goes on, but out of all the other heroes, couldn't catch like Cat Noir or Ladybug Miraculous. Like, couldn't catch Ladybug or Cat Noir, and it just doesn't make sense because I'm like she has been teleported. Like, maybe for Cat Noir is a bit harder because it's in Gabriel's house or Shadow Moth's house. Ooh, but like for Ladybug doesn't make sense because you would think that she would get caught, but she didn't. She didn't at all, and it was just strange to know that in that logic, with all the voyeur cams that Natalie has been putting, didn't catch Ladybug once. But other than that, I digress. So later on, Gabriel calls Audrey for a favor to bring a fashion show for like his son or something, which is Adrian. And yeah, Audrey is from the looks of Audrey, I never seen her respectful to anyone at all. You know, the same thing with Chloe and again like daughter. But it seems like Audrey's nicer to Gabriel. And this made me really think that Gabriel has some kind of like, storyline or, at least somewhat of like a little relationship with Audrey. Or, not a relationship like, oh, they're married or something like go full Clogami or something. But relationship in a sense of like business, the same thing with Gabriel and Kagami's mom, in that sense. And this really puts me back into the episode of the Banana Queen, where we see Chloe's father actually opening the safe to see, and we found like Kagami's mom and also Audrey and probably, yeah, Emily as well, Gabriel's wife. So yeah, that just really takes me back at that sense whenever I saw that scene. But later on, as Marinette has still pretty much, and this is when like Marinette and Alia are hanging out, especially more. And I feel like Alia is a very important kind of pinpoint of this whole series. And because of Alia, the fact that she already knows who Marinette is, the fact that she knows who Ladybug is sort of a benefit. And this episode really kind of showcases of how important that to for Alia, not only for Alia being kind of like one of Marinette and Ladybug's friend and knowing who Ladybug is, but also how important that other heroes need to be taking place within for Marinette's safety, for Ladybug's safety in case of something like this. Because this battle that they put on, it's going to be hard for me to explain, but it's one of the most difficult and hard battles. The fact that they're getting better is almost scary to think about, and it's almost like Thomas Astruck has unlocked the codes. Like you can see how Astruck's writing is more comfortable, the way he tries to picture like how these certain strategies and how these scenes, even though a lot of the episodes are not really the best, but for whatever reason, the fight scenes and the strategic planning, especially using the miraculous, the lucky charms, and also using the hero's ability, they become more creative and it becomes more influent, like out thinking out of the box, basically, especially with this scene, with or basically this whole episode of how Ladybug was in trouble, and I'll go into that a little bit. But we start to see Marinette in this, and pretty much going back in the phasing of this of the synopsis of Adrian, picture of Adrian. Like I'm still thinking like Marinette couldn't, like, is she really still gawking, like pretty much still flustered of seeing Adrian on a picture instead of real life. Like I'm thinking, like, isn't she like already used to that at that point? I don't know. But Marin and Alia having a conversation, and basically it's about Alia being the new owner of the Miraculous. And of course, Marinette is still like not sure about it. And this is my whole point of like how there needs to be not just Alia being the new owner, but also, Julika, Pigella, especially Pigella. Like I feel like I trust her, honestly. Or, maybe the Monkey King or just the rest of them. Or, like who knows? Like what about like like we're never gonna get a reveal, because I believe you. Yeah, believe me when I say like I literally thought that this was it, that this was the episode that was gonna really almost be like the end of the series because of that scene of in the elevator scene. But we're gonna get into that in a minute. As this goes on, pretty much Marinette and Alia having a conversation of like, Alia being the new miraculous owner. And I feel like she should. I think we have a lot of trust of her, especially with that episode in Pigeon 72, the pigeon episode, you start to see, like, especially Alia is the reason why that Marinette, or Ladybug, has the power of the Lucky Charm to actually give Lucky Charm so that they won't be akumatized again. Giving it to, the Pigeon Man, he won't be akumatized by Shadow Moth's power. But of course, like, pretty much Marinette is still unsure and really couldn't, at all actually, but later on it will start to get to her because you do start to see, like, Marinette really thinking about it. And as they go into the event and with the whole class basically, and you already know that Natalie and what, or like Natalie and Gabriel, what they're up to in terms of, like, the whole class invited them to, like, this fashion, like, show or whatever it is, basically this fashion event that they're throwing, and the students are there. Definitely something to take into this. And also before that, like, pretty much, um is Nino. And Nino was there. Nino and Alia, they've been together. And one thing is that is kind of like more mentioned in this was their secret handshake, or at least like a secret high five. And their secret high five is going to play a big role of what is, what really plays a part, especially when it comes to personality, or who they are and who is the real person, all that, because a lot of things to watch out. Later on, as as a Marinette really couldn't resist seeing Adrian, and it's this elevator scene, and I'm like, come on, like, Marinette, you should know that, like, isn't she, like, kind of used to this point? Like, I don't know. But yeah, the elevator scene, like, it just, like, seeing Adrian smile, of course, as they made it to the event with the class. Pretty much, I'm just reading a couple of notes here. Marinette being weird. Yeah, pretty much that's the elevator scene that I talked about. And I thought she's normal around Adrian, but I guess not. Is Audrey is getting the event ready when we see Natalie's device spying. So I believe I'm referencing a scene as Audrey is getting ready for the event, and we see Natalie's device. And I'm not sure if the device actually got destroyed in the show. There's kind of, like, again, a couple of aspects that I'm forgetting. Later on, as Natalie gives the signal, we see Shadow Moth. And this was a weird scene because it's Shadow Moth in the bathroom. And there's the host. And the host, I think his name is Alec. The host, Alec, is pretty much in the bathroom. But for some reason, Alec is not being hostage. You would think that, Shadow Mod being, as Gabriel turned into Shadow Mod, he goes into the bathroom, and then Alec would actually be tied up or something like that. But no, he's just there scared, and I'm just like, Alec, it's your chance to run. Of course, he runs later, but I'm like, it really took you that long? I don't know. It's now in fear. Literally, like, Shalmont makes a new clone of Alec, and that this new clone hosts the show, made by Shadowmont, and walks through as the host, as he, of course, Alec, this clone, hosts the event. And whatever it is, I guess the clone dissed Audrey when, Audrey and also Adrian was on the stage. I believe others as well. And yeah, Audrey got this, and pretty much this is all as planned. And you can already see as the clone step away, as a shadow moth, basically a moth that, basically Audrey gets akumatized, and of course gets humiliated on TV, but now it turns into Style Queen, as she gets akumatized, and this is all according to plan within Natalie and Gabriel's, strategy. As everyone gets freaked out, then as the Ladybug and Cat Noir tries to transform, but they both go into the same elevator. Now, I'm not sure going to the same elevator happened by, their plans, but pretty much it must be like a shot for that one, because I believe that this building has like one elevator, and for some reason, like, no one's there other than Gabriel and Marinette. This is the hard part itself, and this is what I mean how the episodes and the battles get more harder and harder as it moves on. We start to see, like, Cat Noir And I mean, not Cat Noir, like Adrian and Marinette. They want to turn into Cat Noir and Ladybug, but they can't because they're both in the same uh same elevator, and they're tempted like to do it. So there's been, very awkward moments, or close moments where they almost transform, but they couldn't, and which made it awkward, and me wondering how they gotta get transformed, because this happens to be an urgent moment for them, as the rest of them are in trouble. And pretty much, and Style Queen just goes on and everybody, turning him to dust, one after the another and another, and basically all of them turn into dust. Especially the scene when Style Queen then turns to, their own daughters. However, pretty much that's already been said, but their own daughters, as Chloe and Zoe turned to dust as well. And when they were turning to dust, they were pretty much, you see Chloe holding Zoe, and pretty much on the iPad on Natalie's device, you start to see like Chloe is Queen Bee, which sort of, I guess, for some might give a little hope that Chloe could still be the Queen Bee if she wants. My idea is this: when I saw this scene when Chloe's was using Zoe as a shield, I'm thinking like, yeah, there's only could be one Queen Bee. But will there be an episode where they're gonna battle, like who's gonna be a Queen Bee? Will there be an episode of two of them being Queen Bees sharing the miraculous, like literally, a Kwame having two owners or something like that? That sounds crazy. It will be kind of also crazy to see how Zoe would actually become the new owner of the Queen Bee. And it's understandable that Chloe couldn't be, no one would trust her, but still, that will be somewhat like almost messed up. Like it just seems like a bad time for like Chloe, and I guess this has to do with canon with the fans affecting that. I could be wrong, but yeah, they wondering like Natalie begins to her calculations on who is getting akumatized. Style Queen begins to invade, making the building gold, and the whole building turns gold. Marinette and Adrian tries to open the door but fails. They're trapped together. And here's the thing: like I know that this whole episode and the situation kind of reminds me of Oblivio, but this is Oblivio, but not Oblivio, because of course in Oblivio it starts in the elevator, but this one is like trapped in the elevator, but you know who each other are, and it would almost change the sense of time of like who who's Marinette and who's Adrian within each other. Like how are they gonna really survive it? I feel like if two of them know who they are already, would they actually escape? Would it be easier for them or something like that? Like I wonder how that would go down if Ladybug and was revealed to Adrian. Like, can you imagine? Nino and Alia found out that they're both stuck as they were hiding. Pretty much they already found out that they're stuck in an elevator. Alia then rescue, Alia to the rescue, but as Nino wants to help, but Alia basically doesn't want Nino at all in danger. And, kind of like Nino just stays put. Nino does know, and pretty much here's the thing: Nino probably knows where Alia is going to. And Nino does know Rena Rouge. So they already found out like who like, um Nino's like miraculous, and also they always of course like Nino already knows who Rena Rouge is. So it's like, would they be like in someone in the same terms of team? Because I know that there's some aspects that I probably forgot, but that's what I mean by like knowing like who each other are. And it seems like, from what I've seen, and especially when there was like a clone, and we're gonna get that there for a little bit, but would it be like harder as well, the whole situation, if Nino couldn't really find out who Rena Rouge is, or if Rena Rouge or Alia tries to hide it from Nino? Like how much harder can the situation be? And me having all these ideas couldn't be, it's not really helping. I know that for sure. Later on, as Alec escapes and then gets killed by Style Queen, later on, Style Queen does through the vent and attacks Luca. Pretty much turns to Luca and this. So pretty much there's no Viperion, and as all of this is going on, Natalie's device then peeks in, pretty much, or Natalie's device peeks in the elevator. I'm reading that, but also Natalie's iPad. You see like certain heroes and certain teenagers getting obliterated by Style Queen, and pretty much Natalie's keeping count. Natalie's device peeks in the elevator, seeing Marinette and Adrian. And we start to see Adrian notice the device but hides it from Marinette and actually gives signs, which is cool. Actually finding out they're being watched. Good thing Adrian notices, but does he know who Marinette is talking to? Because Marinette is talking to someone to the phone, calling a Kwame, and I'm not sure how that worked at all, but I guess it did. Marinette alerting the Kwames. And yeah, another Adrian and Marinette, almost like pretty much another moment. Like, I wouldn't say like another Adrianette moment, but another like moment where they almost find out who they are. Literally almost, okay? And like it's just getting to the point where you're kind of like nervous, like, no, this can happen. And I feel like that's beginning to be one of the best scenes of this series, is that, the closer and the closer, like, you're almost touching the gas stove to the point where it starts to get dangerous. And it's like finding out who they are, but is it really gonna happen? Is it not, or is it is? Then the device disappears as Natalie doubt there is heroes, and by luck for some reason. Okay, like I wouldn't, obviously not even say anything important, but yeah, pretty much just device got out of there. Then Marinette texts Alia again and help as Style Queen, eliminated Monkey King, which is Kim. Shadowmont letting Natalie and the Style Queen know there are two left, which is Nino and Alia. Alia gets a call from Trix, her Kwame, and then Nino calls as unfortunately gets eliminated by Style Queen, and Shadowmont release a Senti Nino. And this is where I basically got my notes short. Basically, with the whole episode itself, everything was already fixed. But all thanks to Alia. I feel like Alia was a big part of this, knowing that she was, the one. But also, there was another scene that, after like everything was all done and all, all secured, they still gotta deal with the Sentai, and pretty much we start to see Marinette, and this is how instincts play a big role, knowing that Marinette kind of like finds out because of that secret handshake. And the secret handshake basically reference like, oh, was something not comfortable with, especially how when Ladybug didn't see, like in the end when everyone's like all clear and Style Queen is beaten, like there is some like unfamiliar feeling going on in the air. And then that's when Marinette finds out, like, or Ladybug finds out that, yeah, pretty much that is not Nino, that is that's someone else, basically. Rips the device out, or pretty much the Miraculous out of Nino, and gives it to Adrian. And again with Cat Noir with his cataclysm hand. Like, I swear, there's been so many moments where Cat Noir has this cataclysm, and still happens to have it up there, just as if he didn't see it. Like, people should know that if you touch the hand of the cataclysm of Cat Noir, you will die. Okay, that would just be it for you. Maybe you will get damaged at some point, just like we didn't see really the what, Banana Boom Boom, which is the big gorilla of Queen Banana, really just had a little effect with the cataclysm. But I feel like with any human that touches it would die. And almost every time when I see that, I just get so much anxiety. Like, be careful, Adrian. I am praying for you. I know you confident. It's kind of like seeing, someone driving, like they haven't been, they haven't like drove a car ever in their life, and for like and they've been driving for 1 week, but you're kind of nervous for them to actually drive in the freeway, that kind of feeling basically. And yeah, they Marinette basically said to Cat Noir with his cataclysm, like, hey, use your cataclysm to use in this Kwame, and of course, like uh Cat Noir's like, what? Why? Like, isn't that dangerous? Like, no, I know something that is wrong with this. And I can only imagine, what if Ladybug was wrong? Like, what would happen to that? What would happen to, oh god, I forget the green Kwame, my goodness. um but can you imagine the turtle Kwame actually getting obliterated by this, cataclysm that Cat Noir is holding? Like, pretty much, of course, that didn't happen, but you can only imagine. Like, there's so many things that could easily go wrong in this episode, but I'm glad that everything is kind of like, already been fixed in a way that is so unexpected and almost like, come on, that is luck. But every inch counts, and I feel like that's what's going on with each episode, and that's why it's so important, especially the ending scene, is when it was revealed that we have a new owner of the Miraculous. And this really made me happy because of the many ideas that there's going to be a bunch of heroes that are also going to be owners of the of different Miraculouses. And that is especially how Ladybug is the new guardian. Will we see Pigella having her own Miraculous, or Zoe having her own Miraculous? Like, different owners, their own owners, basically. And Alia, out of the best ones, pretty much we will see Nino having his own as well. Like, there are different, expectations that I have for different heroes. And it's so good to see Alia actually being the new one in the group. It's not just, Cat Noir or Ladybug anymore. We got a new, hero, a third one to add in the chamber. And that is just a perfect way to end it, because for this whole episode itself, and there's been a lot of worries of like Alia actually, sort of backstabbing Ladybug Marinette, which I can't honestly see. That just sounds crazy. That couldn't happen, at all. But I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know at all, because we're just gonna find out as the episodes goes on. And pretty much seeing Alia being the new owner kind of makes me happy. And just like knowing the possibilities of what this show can go through, we can see different aspects for different episodes or upcoming episodes, especially how, slowly and surely these heroes will become like, it's almost becoming like the new Justice League or the new Teen Titans, but a lot of responsibility is all up to the Guardians, all up to, Marinette to actually keep in charge, actually knowing that who she trusts. And I feel like Alia is such a good friend and a good one to trust in terms of like the powers that, that Ladybug holds. And but what's gonna happen within, Shadowmont knowing like who Alia is? What's gonna happen with that? Like, I know for a fact that we still have Shadowmont to worry about, and he's getting better and better as the episodes goes on, especially with Natalie's skills and its technology. Like, it's just gonna get harder. So that's a lot of, worry to actually go through. But still, they will leave a little bit more for Alia to shine. Other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hope subscribe, like, comment, all that jazz. Hope I fit this episode at least a good amount in it. Hopefully, I'm not rambling much. I know for a fact that I'm not really the best of this. Okay, I know that it's not really gonna be, crystal clear the way I analyze, because as I'm reviewing this, I'm reading my notes, I'm in my mind, I'm making predictions. Like, everything is sort of working. All the gears are just turning. And I got to make sure every single gear is oiled and turned perfectly. And for the sake of, just making a good ass review, basically. Other than that, I'll see you guys next time. And yeah, I'll see you in the next episode of more